Today in the United States, many people across the country are voicing their opinions on issues that matter, directly opposing elected officials. In China, actions far more tame can bring about consequences unimaginable in the United States. Hi, I'm Zach. I'd like to demonstrate 3 ways communication in China differs from communication in the US. Using the website Cultural Atlas, copyright 2020, I learned of many differences between typical Chinese communications and US communications. China is known globally as a world power, and their actions and decisions affect the world the same the decisions and actions of the United States affect the world. By learning of cultural differences, it will be easier to communicate between the nations if the need ever arises. First, I want to talk about how greetings differ in China versus in the US, and then I want to talk about the importance of body language in China versus the US. And then lastly, I will talk about how even some common vernacular is banned in China compared to how free conversation can be in the US. Greetings in China are very similar to in the US, but like the language itself, they are full of subtle differences. For example, a handshake is very traditional when meeting someone, but unlike Western handshakes, the grip is lighter and they tend to be a little bit longer. A slight bow from the shoulders up can be coupled with this to show respect to elders. When greeting multiple people, it is tradition in China to greet them in order of who's eldest to who's youngest. Now, let us talk about how body language is used as communication in China. Body language in China is used as an extension of the spoken word, often emphasizing an understated point. One's posture is very important, as well as the use of eye contact. Direct eye contact in China is considered more polite than indirect eye contact. Now let us look at how typical Chinese conversations, no matter how tame, are constantly under scrutiny compared to conversations in the US. Many words and phrases in China are actually banned from being used online or in person. An example I have, compiled from a list made by Leigh Hartman for shareamerica.gov, copyright 2019, is the phrase Dalai Lama, the Tibetan leader who is currently in exile. He is a symbol of Tibetan independence, a phrase and topic that is very taboo in China and under a lot of scrutiny. Many more, like Winnie the Pooh and dictatorship, are forbidden, and this censorship is most heavily enforced online. And while there are no official laws from talking about these things in public conversation, their mention in any way but negative, in media or in public, can be seen as treason and dealt with by any means necessary, including and not limited to death. So, today we talked about the differences in communication between China and the United States. More specifically, we talked about how greetings differ, how body language is used, and how public conversations in China are always under scrutiny. While there are many similarities to these two countries in their communication patterns, it is important to remember how oppressed most Chinese communication is. And it is always important to not take that for granted in the States and to speak up when a voice is needed. I find it slightly ironic that a symbol like Spider-Man, who stands for the direct opposition of oppression and fascism, is a humongous symbol among most people in China and is a very popular movie series. Yet what he stands for would be absolutely against most communication standards in China. Thank you.